presentation in chapter 4 about nouns and pronouns. Before we start presentation, I will introduce myself and also my member. My name is Lufi permata putri, and there are also my friends Aurelia salsabil mutta'ally, Desi Sari Cahyani, and Amrina Rosada. So, I will explain to you 4.1 until 4.3. Okay, let's start it. 4.1 Nouns, subject, and object. What is nouns? A noun is a word that used to name a person, place, thing, or idea. For example, California, John, and book. Because noun a big category, nouns can have different place in a sentence. A noun could be doing an action to another noun. For example, John opens the book. John opens the book. John is noun and the book is noun. But each has a different job in the sentence. One doing the action, the other is having the action done to it. In this case, John is doing something to the book. He is opening it. Because the noun John is the one doing the action, this noun would be called subject. The noun is having the action done to is called object. For example, Tina is eating an apple. Tina is the subject, apple is the object. Tom is holding a cup. Tom is the subject, cup is the object. Okay, next 4.2 Adjective plus noun. What is adjective? Adjective is a type of word that can be used to modify and clarify a noun and pronoun. For example, I eat a delicious cake. My father drives a new car, and they have big toys. I eat a delicious cake. Delicious is the adjective. Cake is the noun. My father drives a new car. New is the adjective. Car is the noun. And they have big toys. Big is the adjective. Toys is the noun. Okay, last 4.3 Subject pronoun and object pronoun. What is a pronoun? Pronoun is any word take the place of noun. For example, Kevin is a driver. He drives a car. In this example, the word he is the pronoun, which takes the place of the noun Kevin. So, the pronoun itself has a subject and object. Well, the subject pronoun itself consists of I, you, they, we, she, he, it. So, when the subject becomes an object, the subject is something that is put in front of a sentence or begins a sentence. Well, the subject I becomes me, you becomes you, they becomes them, we become us, she becomes her, he becomes his, it remains it. So, what is a subject pronoun? A subject pronoun is a pronoun does the action in a sentence. For example, he drives a car. In this example, the word drive is the action, is a verb. The pronoun he does the action is this for a subject pronoun. What is a object pronoun? Object pronoun is the recipient of an action. For example, Dika is my supervisor at work. I serve him today. In this example, the word him is an object pronoun. So, subject pronoun. Thanks for attention. Maybe that's all I can explain. Sorry if the spelling of my word is wrong. And material 4.4 until 4.6 will be explained by Amrina Rosada. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amrina Rosada from Group 4, VBI 3. Today I will explain about Chapter 4, Section 4.4 to 4.6. 4.4 Nouns, Singular and Plural. 4.5 Nouns, Irregular plural forms. 4.6 Nouns, Count and non-count. 4.4 Nouns, Singular and Plural. Singular nouns are nouns that indicate that the noun is singular or not, more than one or more short singular nouns. For example, house, car, teacher, table, door. In English tenses, the use of singular nouns is often preceded by the article a or an. Objects that can be counted and not known with certainty, and the object that can be counted and known in with certainty. For example, I have a book. The student wears a uniform. Plural nouns. Plural nouns are a noun that indicates that the object is plural, many or more than one, which is also called a plural noun. For example, houses, cars, teachers, table, doors. Plural nouns can be preceded by the article the for things that can be counted and are known with certainty. For example, the students visited museum. The children are playing football. There are several ways to form plural nouns, namely 1. Singular plus the suffix s, for example, singular actor, plural actors, cat, cats, hand, hands. 2. By adding the letter s when the singular noun ends with the letter oo, io, oe, or yo, and several single nouns ending with the letter o, which are preceded by a consonant. For example, singular bamboo, plural bamboos, polio, polios, cameo, cameos, embryo, embryos. By change the suffix that start with a consonant in a single noun to the letter I, ending, then adding the letters es. For example, singular city, plural cities, fly, flies, baby, babies, lady, ladies. 4. If a singular noun ends with the letter y, which is preceded by a vowel, the plural form of the noun is by adding the letter s. For example, singular k, plural case, way, ways, play, plays. 5. Singular ending in f or ef suffix ves. For example, singular calf, plural calves, half, halves, knife, knives. 6. S ending in ch, sh, ss, or x plus suffix es. For example, singular church, plural churches, brass, brasses, case, cases, box, boxes. 4.5 Nouns. Irregular plural forms. Irregular plural form is a type of plural noun that does not have the same form as the singular noun. Instead, there is a form that is far from the singular form. Not all nouns are included in the irregular plural noun. Only a few are included in it. For example, 1. Singular child, plural children. My elder brother has a child, and I have 3 children. 2. Singular foot, plural feet. You have to kick the ball with your right foot, not using all your feet. 4.6 Nouns. Count and non-count. Count and non-count nouns in Indonesian means an object that can be counted and cannot be counted. For example, 2 dogs, clothes, 2 shirts, cat. There are several ways to make a noun plural. 1. Add s or es behind the noun. For example, singular 1 girl, plural 2 girls, 1 box, 2 boxes. 2. If the noun ends in y, then replace y to ies. For example, singular 1 family, plural 2 families, 1 party, 2 parties. 3. Some count nouns have an irregular plural shape. For example, singular 1 foot, 2 feet, 1 person, 2 people, 1 tooth, 2 teeth. Example sentence count nouns. 1. Mr. Reynolds has a son. 2. I have 2 brothers, John and Mark. 3. Do you like reading a book? Non-count nouns. Non-count nouns are a noun that cannot be counted and has no plural form, although most English nouns are count nouns. For example, milk, rice, coffee, sugar, air, ice, fire, hair. Non-count noun does not use indefinite article a or an, but can use the if you want to indicate something specific. Example sentence non-count nouns. 1. Rosa needs butter to make a cake. 2. Don't put much sugar on my tea. 3. They ate rice with chicken nugget with me last night. Okay, I think that's all can I say. Hopefully it can be understood. Further explanation will be presented by Aurelia salsabil mutta'ally. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Aurelia salsabil mutta'ally. I'm from PBE 3 class. Okay, so I will continue our presentation. Okay, so it's still about chapter 4, nouns and pronouns. Okay, next I will explain about 4.7 using an versus a, 4.8 using a and versus some, 4.9 measurement with non-counts noun, 4.10 using the, 4.7 using an versus a. Writers sometimes confuse the use of the article a and an. We were all taught that a preceded a word starting with a consonant and that a preceded a word starting with a vowel. A vowel is a, e, I, o, u, and sometimes y. And next, so here the secrets to making the rule work. The rule applies to the sound of the letter beginning the word. not just the letter itself. The way we say the word will determine whether or not we use a or an. If the word begins with a vowel sound, you must use an. If it begins with a consonant sound, you must use a. For example, the word hours begins with the consonant H, but the H is silent. So the word has a vowel sound, becomes an hour. Okay, next, the rule works the other way as well. The word university. It begins with a vowel U, but the U pronounced as if it begins with the consonant Y. It's become a university. We put a, but considers the word umbrella also starting with U. Its article with words begins with H, A, or N. The consonants giving us the most trouble is probably H. When the H begins a word and the first syllable is strongly pronounced, you should use a. A history of Europe, essence falls on his. A hero, essence falls on he. But when the beginning H is weakly pronounced, example history, habitual, you must use an, especially in British English. A historic occasion, an habitual offender, but these usages are becoming increasingly old-fashioned, so you must also use a. A historic occasion, a habitual offender. Next, 4.8, using a, an versus some. A and an can only be used with nouns in the singular if we don't mean a special thing or person. Some can only be used in the plural if we don't know the exact amount of something, or if we use nouns we cannot count. Example, liquids. Okay, so this is the example of singular. Use a or an. For example, first, a banana, a car, a monkey, a football, an egg, an accident, an umbrella, an eagle. Okay, next, this is the example of plural, some with countable nouns. For example, some bananas, some cats, some monkeys, some balls, some eggs, some oranges, some umbrellas, some eagles. Next, use some for things you can count. Example, some milk, some water, some coffee, some sugar, some tea, some juice, some money, and some butter. Next, 4.9, measurement with non-counts noun. Measure words are common with uncountable nouns, but some of them can also be used with countable nouns. For example, 2 boxes of match, a can of worms. This list shows some common measure words, like a bar of, a piece of, that we use to measure uncountable nouns. For example, a bag, a bar, a bottle, a bowl, a box, a can. Next, 4.10, using the. The definite article the is the most frequent word in English. We use the definite article in front of a noun when we believe the listener or reader know exactly what we are referring to. First, because there is only one. For example, the moon is very bright tonight. Who is the president of a prince? This is why we use the definite article with a superlative adjective. For example, he is the tallest boy in the class. It is the oldest building in the town. Next, because there is only one in that context. Example, we live in a small house next to the crush. The crush is in our village. Dad, can I borrow the car? The car that belongs to our family. The definite article with names. We do not normally use the definite article with names. For example, William Shakespeare wrote Hamlet. Paris is the capital of France. Iran is in Asia. But we do use the definite article with countries whose names include words like kingdom, state, or republic. For example, the United Kingdom, the United States, the People's Republic of China. Countries which have plural nouns as their names, the Netherlands, the Philippines. Okay, I think that's all my presentation for today. Sorry for the mistake. Thank you for your great attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Desi Sari Cahyani. I'm from 13th English Education in the University of Wisconsin, Aurelia. Today I want to bring my presentation and I categorize 4 substances. First, using no article to make generalization. Second, using some and any. Third, indefinite pronouns, something, someone, anything, and anyone. Fourth, indefinite pronouns, nothing and no one. Using no article to make generalization. No article, or can be called zero article, is a term used for situations when a noun or noun phrase in a sentence need not be preceded by a definite article, the, or indefinite article, an. This usually occurs with plural and uncountable nouns that have a general meaning. For examples, I need a cup of coffee as indefinite article. I like the food they serve in the restaurant, definite article. Cats drink milk as zero article. I like comics as zero article. Zero article with proper names. We usually don't use articles with proper names, names of people. Yesterday I saw Tim Smith. He is a fan of Michael Jackson. Note, we can still use the to differentiate between two or more persons that might have the same names. Was it the Tim Smith who visited our meeting last Friday or someone else? Who visited our meeting determines the name Tim Smith. Zero article with noun plus number. We use zero article when a noun is preceded by a number. He is in room 45. Please turn to page 67. Zero article with plural nouns. We use zero article with plural nouns. First, that are not specific. I see flower in the vase. We have bananas in the kitchen. So we can see that many of flowers, many of bananas that we can't know, and it's not specific. How much is it? Second, to talk about a class of thing in general. Cheetahs run faster than any mammal. The whole species in general, not particular cheetahs. River always flow into seas and oceans. Zero article with uncountable or abstract nouns. We use zero article with abstract nouns and uncountable nouns. Do you like coffee? Lily needs money. Love is in the air. zero article with other determiners. We use zero article when there's a determiner before a noun or a noun phrase. I need some information. My house is next to the bus stop. Not my house is next to the bus stop. General plural and mass nouns. General statements about a plural noun tend to use the zero article. Plastic bags are bad for environment. The same applies to mass or uncountable nouns. Drinking milk makes your bones stronger. In both cases here, we don't use an article because we're using the words generalization, ye, to refer to plastic bags and milk in general, not to a specific set of plastic bags or a particular class of milk. Were we referring to something specific instead, we would need to use articles as normal. Example, if we were referring to the plastic bags that you use for your groceries or the milk in the fridge. Means of transport. We don't usually use an article when describing how something travels. We made the journey on foot. They will be arriving by plane. However, you should use the appropriate article when referring to vehicles. Otherwise, example, someone might travel by bus, but we will still say the bus is waiting or a bus passed by half hour ago. Second of material is using some and any. Some. Part A, some or any for a quantity. Some plus plural or a countable noun is equivalent to a or an plus singular noun. You will need some wood, a hammer, and some nails. Some is a positive quantity. We use any mainly in negatives and questions. For positives, I've got some nails. For negative, I haven't got any nails. And for question, have you got any or some nails? We use any with other negative words. I never seem to have any money. We have won hardly any game this year. Any is usual choice in questions. Did you catch any fish? The answer is yes or no.
But we use some for more positive tone, especially in offers and requests. For example, did you catch some fish? Would you like some cornflakes? In an if clause, we can use either. If you need some or any help, let me know. B. Some or any for a part quantity. Compare these two uses of some. There were some people in the studio. Quantity, a number of people. Some people enjoy quiz shows.
Here, some or any means a part. Some trains have a restaurant car. Some of the trains were cancelled. Some of the fish in the tank were a beautiful blue color. I like some jets, but not all of it. I didn't watch any of the game. When some means a part, we can use it in a negative sentence, such as some people don't enjoy quiz shows. So, how about any? Any is normally used with plural and uncountable nouns in questions, negative and conditional sentence. For example, do we have any beer? Yes, we do. It's in the fridge. Do we have any glasses? Yes, we do. They're in the cupboard. I don't have any heavy luggage. I don't have any suitcases. If you need any help with your packing, just let me know. If your hand luggage contains any knives or scissors, they will be confiscated. With this usage in these examples, we will normally require a or an before a singular countable noun. For example, have you got a glass for the beer? Have you got a vase for the flowers? I don't have a suitcase, just hand luggage. If your hand luggage contains a knife or a pair of scissors, they will be confiscated. We will not normally say, have you got any glass for the beer? Have you got any vase for the flowers? I don't have any suitcase, just hand luggage. If your hand luggage contains any knife or any pair of scissors, they will be confiscated. Any with singular countable nouns. However, when we want to emphasize the any means of any kind, it is quite natural to use any with singular uncountable nouns. So, in your example, Esther, any curry, meaning any kind of curry, is a justifiable alternative to any curries. If you have any queries about a trip to Philippines, please ask me. If you have any query about the trip to Philippines, please ask me. To emphasize any query a bit more, we could also say, if you have any query whatsoever, it doesn't matter what it is, please ask me. Note also the following examples of this kind of use. You should see a doctor. Any doctor will be able to help you. You don't need a specialist. Which newspaper would you like? Any newspaper, as long as it's broadsheet. Where does he normally play? He normally plays in defense, but he can play in any position. I work from home, so I can do my work at any hour of the day or night. This is a book which any 11-year-old should be able to understand. Some or any in question. Note that we tend to use some instead of any when we expect a positive answer to the question. So we can ask him, would you like some more pasta and salad? No more thanks, I'm quite full. Don't you need some new clothes for when you start your new job? Yes, I do. I need a whole new wardrobe. Shall I send you some information about our new products? Yes, please do. Could you get me some rice when you go shopping? What sort would you like? Any sort. Not any and no. Note that any by itself doesn't have a negative meaning. It is only when it's combined with not to make not any that it becomes negative. No has the same meaning as not any, but is more emphatic. Compare the following. First, he has no money and no hope for the future. He doesn't have any money or any hope for the future. Note also that at the beginning of a sentence, we are obliged to use no. We cannot use not any to start a sentence. For example, I don't have any luggage. No luggage at all. No tourist visited the island that summer. No computer is safe from the virus. Third of material is indefinite pronouns. Something, someone, anything, and anyone. What are indefinite pronouns? In English grammar, indefinite pronouns are substitute words for things that cannot be or simply are not wanted to be named exactly. So, they can be used instead of them, or more precisely, they can substitute them. Generally, indefinite pronouns refer to person or things, which can also be in the plural. If this is the case, the words some and any often serve as a basis. For details, see the comparison some and any. In particular, indefinite pronouns referring to persons. If persons are referred to, indefinite English pronouns mostly end in body or one. The person to be substituted can then be male or female. All in all, there are no differences in meaning between these two variants. Typical pronouns that can replace a person are everybody, anybody, anyone, and etc. Note: in terms of grammar, they are in the singular even if they did not several people. This rule signifies that the verb must be conjugated in the third person singular. Everybody likes chocolate. Not everybody likes chocolate. In this incorrect sentence, the S is missing, which is recurred in the third person singular. See, rule for she, he, it. Information. In some cases, this kind of indefinite pronouns may cause difficulties in representing the sex or gender of the named person. Sometimes, one may not want to specify it or needs to hide it. As a consequence, anybody, for example, can be a woman or a man. For a detailed explanation of how to avoid this problem. Indefinite pronouns referring to things. In English, many indefinite pronouns that refer to things typically end in thing. Examples of these are something, anything, nothing, and etc. Not again, the verb is conjugated in the third person singular. Something has happened, not something have happened.
Indefinite pronouns with body, one, and thing. The following table shows a comparison of the pronouns for an indefinite number of people with the endings body and one, as well as thing for things. Watch out for the spelling. The term no one is written with two words incorrect no one. Be careful with the pronunciation. Here the O is not pronounced as in the negotiation word no, but as a light A.
We can see the table in here. Any in person ending body become anybody. Any in person ending one become anyone. Any in things ending thing become anything. Some in person ending body become somebody. And in person ending one becomes someone. Thing ending thing becomes something. Every person ending body everybody. In person ending one become everyone. Thing ending thing become everything. And no person ending body become nobody. In person ending one become no one. And in thing ending thing become nothing. Anybody and anything in question and negative statements. In some cases, there is more than one possibility to express the same meaning. This choice can quickly lead to confusion among English learners. Basically, there is no difference in meaning and both forms can be used equally, as the following examples demonstrate in particular. Nobody and not anybody both mean no person. For example, there is nobody in the house. There isn't anybody in the house. By negating is with not or isn't anybody is sufficient in this example. It's not necessary to use nobody anymore. But is anybody in the house? Be careful. In interrogative sentences, anybody needs to be used while not does not. Nothing and not anything have more or less the same meaning too. I have nothing to say. I don't have anything to say. The combination of not and anything is enough to construct the negation. Nothing together with not would be redundant and a double negation. But do you have anything to say? Be careful. In question sentences, anything is used without not in the sense of something. Fourth material is indefinite pronouns, nothing and no one. The indefinite pronouns nobody and no one are often mixed up with the pronoun none. The first two words are both singular pronouns and synonymous, but none can be either singular or plural. How to use nobody? Nobody is an indefinite pronoun, meaning it does not refer to any particular person. It means the same thing as no person or not anyone, as an indefinite pronoun that refers to an absence. Nobody also has no defined amount. Grammatically, though, it is treated as a singular noun. Nobody was there to open the door. How to use no one? No one is also an indefinite pronoun, and it means the same thing as nobody. It is usually considered more formal than nobody, which is why it's more likely to appear in writing. No one is a common misspelling of no one, which is two words. No one with a hyphen is a less common spelling typically found in British English. How to use none? The pronoun none means not one, not any, or no person or things. As an adverb, none means not at all or to no extent. There's a common misconception that none can only be singular, but this has never been true. When none is the subject of a clause and refers to members of a group, it can be used with either a singular verb, none is, or a plural verb, none are. None must be followed by a singular verb only when it means not part of a whole, as in none of it is mine. Examples: nobody and no one are basically interchangeable. The main difference between the two is degree of formality. No one is ever too old to learn something new. Nobody wants to sign up for clean-up duties. None means the same thing as not one or not any, which is why it is often found in reference to groups. None of the other apples are as good as the honey crisp. None of the guests has any idea what to bring to the party. In the first example, none takes the plural verb are because it is used in the sense of not any. Not any of the other apples are as good as the honey crisps. In the second example, none takes the singular verb has because it is used in the sense of not one. Not one of the guests has any idea what to bring to the party. If you are using the word none and you aren't sure if it should take a singular or a plural verb, try replacing none with not any or not one to determine in which sense it's being used. Wilson Follett, the author of the Style Guide to Modern American Usage, wrote that choosing the right verb for none is always a matter of context. The fact is that in some contexts, none means not a single one, making singularity emphatic, whereas in other contexts, it means no two, no few, no several, no fraction of many. In none of us is entitled to cast the first stone, the singular meaning is hardly mistakable. In none of the commentators agree on the meaning of this passage, the plural meaning is equally clear. None then is fairly either singular or plural according to the sense suggested by its context. Often, the number we give it makes no differences. How to remember the differences? Nobody and no one always refer to people. If you're struggling to decide which one you should write. You can relax. Either one will do. Do stick with whichever sounds best. Noun can refer to people or inanimate objects. This word always points to another noun or nouns in a sentence, which is why you often see the construction none of the noun as in none of the cast. Enjoy the meal. None is the appropriate word in this case because it points to the noun cast. Without a noun cast, the sentence would require an indefinite pronoun such as nobody or no one instead. No one enjoyed the meal. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. I'm sorry if I have mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.